Yes, hi everyone. In this video, I'm talking about strip searches, and I'm addressing the circumstances in which a police officer can strip search someone legally before arrest. Right? There's a lot to be covered, so I'm trying to make it as succinct as possible. So this actually topic is important for mainly two reasons. First of all, because it is forthcoming. Yeah, knowing that a warrant needs to be obtained before a strip search, you will prevent being thrown at a tight spot where you are facing a potential sexual assault or harassment by sick-minded officer, right, who abuses authority. And it's very, very important because a strip search might not only involve taking off your clothes, it might involve a lot more than that. It might leave you harassed and injured physically and also mentally for life. And secondly, because aside from that, any evidence that is uncovered is being found in the course of any legal strip search is going to be thrown out of the window. So it will have a likely effect on you winning your case. Because that evidence that may be found in the course of the strip search may be the only evidence that's pointing to your conviction. So it is going to break or make your case. So what is a strip search? A strip search is when the police requires you to strip your clothes off, and in order to find evidence of a crime in you. Now it could vary from a simple stripping, like stripping down to your knees, so taking your clothes off, to an actual body cavity search. There's a visual body cavity search, right? When you just go through a machine, let's say at the airport, and they just screen what's inside of you. And it's also a manual one. Manual one involves touching, and that's why it could be potentially dangerous, and because it may be abused, and it may borderline battery, or it may borderline sexual assault. Someone, a rogue cop might just do it for his own personal gratification. And body searches, strip searches may also involve surgical operations. So that's why, because of all those reasons, a strip search has been deemed of one of the highest intrusions into people's privacy. So it actually, you can imagine that there's a lot of friction there with the Fourth Amendment to the United States, which actually says that all persons have, the right to be protected in their houses, their effects, and their papers, and not to be violated by unreasonable searches and seizures, and that no warrant should be issued unless there's probable cause. So there's two things here: is the word reasonable, and there's the word warrant. Right now, what would make a strip search reasonable? Well, for the purpose of this video, I wanted to know that before you are arrested, aside from a couple of exceptions, right? Before you are arrested, let's say the constitutional rights apply, like a safety net over you, and you may not be strip searched unless you give your consent. If you give your consent, you give up your constitutional rights, and you may be violated. But if you know your rights, you're more likely to not give your consent. And also, a cop is going to be more afraid if you know your rights than if you don't know your rights. So just resist, and don't be unnecessarily violated by someone who may potentially want to further his own personal interests. You may be strip searched at border crossings, or when you when you are at the airport, and that's when they got reasonable suspicion, the border patrol agents, when they got reasonable suspicion that you are hiding evidence of a crime and a crime has been committed. You may be searched by implied consent. That's just automatic, right? You may be strip searched at school. Well, basically, pupils may be strip searched at school by masters, and you may be strip searched just right after an arrest, right? Because there's a new Supreme Court decision. It's basically the case of Florence versus Board of Chosen Freeholders, which states that, practically states that when you are arrested and when you are about to be thrown to the jail population or another detention facility because of the safety concerns that are involved there, right? Your privacy rights are overridden by those safety concerns. Um, that's basically a concern that you may be carrying contraband or weapons, and you are going to be smuggling that in the very close environment of the prison. That's endangering your life, everybody else's life, and risking further commotions and further social unrest inside the prison. So all those very, very important considerations just override your privacy rights, right? So now, aside those exceptions that I just mentioned, now let's say that you are being pulled over by a cop and he claims that he's got probable cause, right? He's got probable cause to suspect that there's evidence, like of crime inside your car because he smells marijuana. Is he going to be able to strip search you? No, he can't. Remember, he needs a warrant. He needs a warrant. What if he actually, has probable cause to believe that? He's got probable cause to believe there's evidence inside the car. Well, he can search the car, but it's unreasonable to strip search you. It's unreasonable to strip search you. He's got probable cause that there is an evidence as crime committed and that it's hidden in the car. You're different from your car, So he is not going to be even able to search you, save alone strip searching you, right? So, there are legal boundaries and they do make the difference when it comes to those encounters. That's why I'm stressing it. I'm stressing this as far as I can. What if we say that he has smelled marijuana coming from your car, right? That has provided him with probable cause to believe that there's evidence hidden in the car, namely the marijuana. Can he still search you? Well, he may be able to if you're inside the car and you smell marijuana too, right? He may be able to smell you to search you. Because he's got probable cause to believe that there may be evidence of that crime, specific crime, on you or your friends that are there, right? And all comes goes down to probable cause and if he thinks that's reasonable. Now, if he though wants to strip search you, he can't. Now, if he has probable cause though to believe that you are hiding inside your anus, let's say, drugs, and he really does have a genuine probable cause, can he strip search you? Can he still do that? While he may be able to search you if he thinks before arrest, what was looking before arrest, he may be able to search you when he reasonably thinks that you're armed and dangerous. After he reasonably suspects that a crime has been committed, that will be a minor infraction. He can commit a pat-down search on you. That's as far as it goes. And he also can perform a limited search of the car, so he will prevent you from reaching for a weapon or something and risk his safety. But he cannot strip search you. Why though? He's got probable cause, right? He's got probable cause and it's genuine. Why? Because of the nature of the strip search. Strip search may vary from a normal strip search to a touching, or it may be deemed unreasonable and excessive, and that would be assault. That would be harassment. I mean, where's the line? Where's the dividing line between touching you and sexual harassment? So he wouldn't want to risk his job. However, if he thinks if he can claim, let's say, probable cause every time he wants to search you, the evidence might probably get thrown out of the window, because it's going to be, if the probable cause is going to be deemed unreasonable, and if it is deemed that he did not have probable cause to strip search you under the circumstances, the evidence might be thrown out of the window. But he's probably not going to be suspended. He's not going to be suspended. He's not going to lose his job, and he will just have satisfied his sick trait, of basically touching you or harassing you. He can always claim that under the circumstances, he thought that he had probable cause, or it was just a misjudgment, Whereas if he knows that he needs to get a warrant, his job is on the line. He'll be more scared. And if you know that he needs to get a warrant, you know, you will not consent and you will not be tricked into giving away your constitutional rights. Because before arrest, that's the case of Furtado, right? Before arrest, a warrant is needed. Or if he claims that he has probable cause to arrest you, well, then he should arrest you. You know what I'm saying? He can arrest you for a drug violation. He doesn't need to see the drug. And that's the case of Draper versus United States. You know, an arrest is different from a search and strip search. You know, different considerations apply, and they are being done for different purposes. An arrest is in order to stop you from interfering with an investigation. You know, distracting evidence or interfering with witnesses. That's why when he arrests you, he can search you, because, you know, in order to ensure that his safety is not at stake, he can carry on the arrest, and that there is no distraction of evidence. But the strip search is a different thing, you know, and also probable cause. You know, apart from the fact that, you know, let's say that he's got about probable cause, he may be unreasonable and excessive under the circumstances. It's a high standard, you know, it's a high bodily intrusion, a very intrusive one, a very invasive one. It needs to be protected at all costs, and that's only upon obtaining a warrant, right? So this is why the case of Shirley Merlo Rodriguez versus Joseph Furtado is such a significant one, because it explicitly states that before an arrest takes place, if the police officer has not obtained a search warrant, he cannot perform a strip search on a suspect. A warrant is going to ensure that you're not going to be abused by rogue and sick-minded police officers. And don't take me wrong, those are not the majority, right? The majority of police officers, just like normal people, you know, it's regardless of their uniform and their badge, right? They want to do their jobs correctly. But unfortunately, there are some people that assume to be the officers and the servants of the law, and they do abuse that authority, because when people have authority, they tend to abuse it. So that's why there need to be correct checks and balances, and that's why strip searches are being put at the you know, at such a high pedestal. Now, after arrest, it's a different consideration. But then again, the decision of Florence states that when the officers, let's say they do arrest you for a minor offense, like a traffic infraction, and let's say that you're pending a judge who's going to decide whether you're going to be admitted into the general jail population or not detention facility, then, you know, they shouldn't actually strip search you, because they don't know whether you're going to be admitted there. You know, you're just being held at a police cell, at a cell at a police station. However, though, the majority and the crux of the decision makes it cool. It makes it more legitimate for the police to be able even to strip search at a police station, because they can always claim that, you know, like, they can always come and claim that they did it for safety reasons, right? So while it may be thrown out of the window and suppressed at a criminal hearing, yeah, they may be more emboldened and brazen in strip searching you, because they will not be in fear of risking their jobs. Thanks very much for staying with me. This video is purely for informational purposes only. It's not advice of any sort. And feel free to comment you got any questions with regards to strip searches and basically searches and seizures in general. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. This is Dimitris Koulafetis. See ya.